Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here. We're going to look at another knife today. And the knife that we have on the table, it is from Kubey. And this is the Kubey Momentum. And this knife, it has a blade length of 3.43 inches, open 7.91 inches, so fairly big knife, and closed it is 4.48 inches. The steel on it, it is a D2 drop point, and it is a dark wash, they call it. The weight on it, it is a 4.48 ounces, and the handle is G10, and it does have the milled liners, as you can see if I hold that properly. Well, not so much on that side. Oh, yeah, because only the one side has the milled. Sorry, my bad. One side has the milled liner on it. The pocket clip on it, it is reversible. So makes this knife ambidextrous, tip up, and deep carry. It is a liner lock, and it is a front flipper. So those of you who are familiar with front flippers, it is front flipper, but it also has the dual thumb stud on it, so you can fire it with the thumb studs as well. So two different ways of opening the knife. It does have a lanyard hole at the back for those of you who like the lanyards. And it does have jimping and a thumb ramp on there. So that helps you with a little bit of purchase when you're using the knife. And it does have a slight choil there, which is more for sharpening. You don't want to be using it as a finger choil. It's definitely more for sharpening purposes, if you can see that. And also it has caged ceramic ball bearings in the pivot. And the blade is pretty much down the center, as close as I need it. It's almost dead center. And the good part, there's no blade play on this thing. So it is ambidextrous. I'm not even gonna try to open it. If you saw the unboxing, I have not done the front flippers, and so it took me a minute to catch on to using the front flipper, and have to say not really a fan of the front flipper, but that's just me. But yes, it has a great pivot on it. Really like the pivot. Anyway, we are going to do a size comparison. Sorry, I jump ahead here of myself. So we've got the Ontario Rat 2. So you can see it does have a bit of size compared to that. And also the Benchmade Bug Out. A little bit bigger than the Bug Out. Well, yeah, good size. Bigger than the Bug Out. And we'll grab a couple of the bigger knives here. We've got the Tenacious. And so the Tenacious is pretty much the same size. And we've got the Civivi Cogent, which again is pretty much the same size. So it's a good size knife. It definitely, you know you've got a knife in your hand when you hang on to this thing. It is a little meatier with the 4.48 ounces, but not bad. And let's see, we'll move on to sharpness. See how sharp this is. I can cut some paper here. Seems to cut that. No worries. Get that out of the way. Get rid of the paper. And my nemesis, the zip tie. See how it does on that. It has a bit of a belly, so we'll see if it tries to slide up the belly or not. And nope. Just trying to be careful. It went through that fairly easy. I just didn't want to knock over my camera system. No, that took no effort to go through that. And how about the nylon cord? Nope. It goes through that pretty easy. So D2 on this one is pretty sharp, which is good. Nice to get it sharp out of the factory. So one of the big selling factors for me on this, I've been looking for a knife with the jade handle. I like the jade and the blacked out blade. And so this one, it met that need. It has the jade with the black out, and I think that looks pretty smart. I really like the aesthetics on it. The profile of the blade itself is pretty decent. It doesn't necessarily have wow factor to the shape of the knife and that, but I really like the look of the jade and the black together. It's a good look for me. The ergonomics on this knife are really good. It's a comfortable knife in the hand. You could do a lot of camping work with this if you're using it for camping. It would definitely be a good knife for that, or even in the yard if you're doing yard work and stuff. Or you have to open boxes or packages and stuff like that. It would work well for that. The grip on it is a good grip. It's, I don't know if you can see, it is slightly textured. If I can get the light to hit this thing somewhat decently. But it is textured, so it's easy to get a grip. And for me, I like the jimping. And the thumb ramp actually helps. Although, because it is a front flipper, you see how far forward the thumb ramp is. And so you do go a little farther forward, but it also gives you a little more leverage. So, excuse me, not necessarily a bad thing. The way that's designed, I think they did a good job of designing that with the front flipper in mind. And it's fairly decent in the pocket. You know, it's got a fairly slim profile. So in the pocket, it's actually quite comfortable. It just feels bulky because it does have a lot of weight. I don't know what they could have done to make it a little less heavy, but I guess use different materials. But yeah, in the pocket, it fits good in the pocket, just feels a little heavy. And I am really impressed. I have a couple Kubey knives now, and these basically are drop close knives. In fact, I have cut my thumb on the back behind the nail because I've had it where I've done the liner lock and the knife has come down. I'm not going to show you because I'll end up cutting myself. And so, yeah, I have cut the back of my thumb a couple times with Kubey knives. But that's just a testament of their decent, really good pivots. So, yeah, just drops closed like that. But on the reverse side of things, oh, and it's got kind of a neat, I don't know if you can see that. It's got a KB on the pivot cap there. And looks kind of cool. On the reverse side, things I'm not real crazy about. I have got on to the front flipper opening, but it's not my favorite thing. I tend to use the thumb studs more. I did fidget a lot with the knife just to get used to the front flipper opening, but if I put this knife down for a couple days, I can easily lose the ability to open it that way properly. And so you do have to adjust your grip for front flipper open So you got to hold more along the side here so that you can get your thumb forward and do the flick with your thumb and not drop the knife so that it stays in the hand. So it took me 5 minutes to get onto that. I did show a friend of mine who's into knives, Q. He flipped it open as soon as I told him it was a front flipper, although it was the first time he used a front flipper. He flipped it open like a pro, but he also plays with a lot of knives. So, but for me, I'm not opposed to it. If you give me a knife with a front flip on it, I will gladly take it. But for me, I find the thumb studs a little easier to use. Although now I'm getting onto the front flipper, it's not that bad. And as always, I gotta whine and complain about the pocket clip not being flush in the handle, because it is slight wear and tear on your pocket, but not much. So overall with this knife, I'm very happy with it. It was money well spent, 60 bucks I think, Canadian, in around there. 55, something like that. 55 I think they were. So yeah, I'm not unhappy with this knife in any way. Gotta say, Kubey, you do your pivots really well. Both my Kubey knives, the pivots on them are really smooth and really good. So very happy about that. And for me, it's just a smart looking knife. I really like it and enjoy it, and we'll carry this around, use it, and even though it's front flipper, not a big deal. So it would make a great EDC. All that to say, it would make a great EDC. For anybody looking for an inexpensive quality EDC, that's it. And if you enjoy the front flipper, it's a great knife. I would highly recommend it. All right, that is it for me on this knife review. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you. Enjoy having you watch the videos. And until we do another review, you stay safe and stay sharp.